Welcome to the third session of Fluent with Marwa webinars. It's a series of webinars that I have organized lately. This session is titled Task-Based Language Learning. So today we're going to study the TBL approach of English as a foreign language teaching and learning. Okay, TBL means task-based learning approach. Okay, so before we start, let's have a game to refresh you a little bit, to warm you up. I'm having like an icebreaker, so let me just do it together with you. So just a simple speaking activity. It's a spinning wheel, so let's try it. I hope that you find it interesting. I just placed it here. Can you see my screen? I'm sharing my
Yes,
screen.
yes.
Okay, thank Allah. All right, it's loading. Just a second. So it's just a spinning wheel where we spin the wheel and we have a question, and the person can have a minute to think of an answer to the question, then proceed to speak and express themselves. All right. So let's start. Who wants to share? You will find it easy, no worries. So you will have time to think about the answer. Before I spin the wheel, I have to have hands up. Just a second. Let me check the raised hands. No, just a second. Where is it? Yeah, yeah. Okay. So people raising hands. Nobody's raising hands. Mr. Haib, okay, you're the first one to share. So just a second. Yeah, let me spin the wheel and you will have the question immediately. So here is your question. Can you read it? I can make it bigger if it's not clear. Let me read it for you. If you could choose your age forever, what age would you choose and why? You don't like, if you don't like the question, I can get you another one. We can spin it again and have another question. Okay? So this is an option here. Yeah. Mr. Haib, you have raised your hand, right? You can unmute first and then speak. Are you with us? Are you following?
Okay.
Okay. Yeah,
Uh,
all right, you're
um,
with us. Mhm.
yes. My question was, what age I'd like to have all the time?
Yeah, forever. It's a little
Okay.
bit a weird question. Mhm.
Okay. Sorry, but the voice was very low, so I was trying to make it better, but it's okay. Now, the age I prefer, which is 30. 30 is the best age in life because you finished education, you started to achieve your dreams, you have a good experience
Yeah,
to live. You
yeah,
already have some stable financial situation. You have chosen the person you are marrying. So for me, the best age is 30. 30, all 13s.
yeah. So you wish that you live as one of in your 30s forever. May Allah bless you, good health and yeah, and long age. Yeah.
You too. Okay.
Wow. Thank you so much. Great. So let's
You
eliminate this question. Thank you.
are still a youth. You're not a child and you are not an old lady, so you can
Yes.
achieve more and more dreams.
Yeah. Yeah. You're in full you're full power as well. You have your full energy at that very age, right?
And that's the point. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
what I go.
Yeah, crystal clear. Thank you so much for the contribution. Any other participants? I can see raised hands here. Thank you so much, Mr. Hype. Let me check raised hands to see who is going to share. Who's ready? We have Miss Sameh Abdul Razik, my dearest sister. Go ahead. Let me just spin the wheel for you. Spin the wheel, and you have your question by luck. Let's see. Okay. So, yeah, what's your favorite season? Spring, summer, fall, or winter? Please share why.
Hello,
You can
Miss
have.
Maro. How are you, my dear?
Hi, how are you doing?
Fine, thank you. How are you, dear?
I'm fine, thanks to Allah.
Always thanks to Allah. Well, my favorite season is winter. I love winter so much. In spite of I'm really feeling cold and freezing in winter, but I love it so much. The raining atmosphere, the smell of the rain. Even when you drink something hot, it's amazing in winter. So I love it. I think that the earth in raining, like God or like Allah, washes the earth. The smell of it,
Yeah,
the trees, everything. I really love winter. I love it
yeah,
as a season.
I love it too. So we share the same preferences here. Yeah, thank you so much. I like your answer.
Thank you, dear.
You're welcome. Okay, let's eliminate the question. I need one more participant before we start the session. Who's ready? Who wants to play with us before we start? So let me check raised hands. Who's ready? Just simple question. No worries. Okay. You can mute if you're having like a background noise. Please mute yourself. I need one more participant if you're ready to do this. Okay, let me spin the wheel and then I have the question. Maybe you change your mind to share when you see the question relevant or something. So the question says, if you woke up tomorrow as an animal, that's not a good question anyway. What animal would you choose to be and why? This is like an imaginary question, kind of question. So let it be modified a little bit. What kind of pets do you prefer? What kind of pet do you prefer? Let's modify it to be better. Mr. Mahmoud, you have raised your hand. You can unmute and speak immediately. Let it be your
Yes.
favorite pet. Yeah, this is better.
Thanks, Mr. Marwa.
You're welcome.
Again, the question, please. I don't see
So,
it.
yeah, the question is a little bit weird. So, if you woke up tomorrow as an animal, what animal would you choose to be and why? I see that it's weird a little bit. So we modify it into what kind of favorite pet that you would like to have or you already have, the pet, the domestic animal that you prefer to have or maybe you already have at home. So let's modify the question a little bit to be more suitable for you, right?
Yes. At first, Allah has honored us as persons. But
Yeah,
okay, I like a horse. I like
really. You like
their
horses?
feeling. Yes, I like horses. I like their feeling towards the persons. I like um, they're dealing with person even when they have a shock or have a problem. I see they have a good feeling towards us.
Yeah, so you feel that they are loyal a little bit to us. If we keep them as pets at home, as something domestic to be at home and to help us. By the way, they are wonderful with sports as well. So riding horses is a wonderful sport, even called for by Islam, right? So it's really wonderful to have a horse in a farm or something, right? Okay, I guess, yeah, so far so good. Thank you for the contribution. Let's go to the presentation and start our session. That was just like an icebreaker, a little bit to warm you up. Then we will start the session. So, task-based learning, let me ask you, what is a task? What is a task? What comes to your mind when you hear the word task? I'd like to drop the link in the chat box. It's Mentimeter, if you are familiar with it, where you have like a box. When you press the link and you will visit it, you will just find it like a website. And just a second, let me put it in the chat box. Let me drop it. You just visit the link and you will find like a box or three boxes. You write a word, two words, three words as you like. that come to your mind when you hear the word task. What is a task in the first place? Okay, so let me paste the link in the chat box. Just assure me if you can see it now. Did you get it? Check the chat box, please.
Yeah,
Okay, you have to
it's here.
press it. Yeah, just press it, and you will find like a website having a box. It's Mentimeter, and you will write one word. Let me show you. Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, not this one. Yeah. You have it. Just press it. But this is my own screen. You will have this question, what is a task? And you have a box where you will write one word or two words or three contributions as you like. Then I'll have them here before us. What is a task in the first place? Write anything that comes to your mind. I'm waiting, of course, for your responses. Just press the link, please. I guess nobody is there. I can't see anyone here. No participants. So just press the link. Yeah. Okay, wonderful. So yeah, you started writing, you started sharing. Excellent. Five responses here. So the task is an activity. Okay. It's a project. All right. But project is a little bit bigger. Okay. It's a big concept. So yeah, it's a discussion. The discussion is a kind of task. It achieves a specific aim, all right? It's a mission, okay. It's an activity, again. It's a simple project, all right, very good. Any other contributions? I'm waiting for your responses. Just express yourselves, whatever comes to your mind about the meaning of the word task. What is a task? So again, it's an activity. A lot of you share the word activity, okay? Yeah, it's simply an activity. Yeah, and the things I have to do are called tasks. Very good. Things related to a certain topic. All right. The activities that I do. All right. The homework. Okay. Very good. Wonderful. So we have 15 responses here. Very good. Back to the presentation, and I can see that somebody wrote something here. Yeah, it's the same. A mission, simple project. Yeah. Okay. What I have to do. Okay. Back to the presentation. And we have the definition here. So you will read it and you will complete it. I have two definitions, one by Williams and Burden and the other by another scientist. So I have covered one word. So read the definition, please, and complete it or fill in the gap here. So a task is any blah, 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 that learners engage in to process learning of a language. This is according to Williams and Burden in the year 1997. So a task is what? Any what?
Miss Marwa, excuse me.
Yeah,
The screen is freezing, I think. It's frozen. It
it's
doesn't.
freezing.
Yeah.
It doesn't
Now,
show?
now it no, no. Now it does. It shows. It shows the
Okay,
presentation
It's
now.
clear now.
okay, okay.
It's clear now.
Maybe, yeah, okay. Our colleagues say it's okay. So maybe, Ms. Ghada, you are having something wrong with the connection, but it's back again. Since you can see it, it's okay now. All right. Thank Allah, everything is okay. It's a great honor and pleasure having you first. Okay, so yeah, okay. So read the definition, please. A task is any space that learners engage in to process learning of a language. This definition is according to Williams and Burden in the year 1997. So is any what exactly? You have said that, I guess, in your discussion in the Mentimeter, right? You can unmute and just say it.
Maybe I'm confused between activity and situation.
Okay, activity or situation. Let me just uncover it. Yeah, simply an activity. Excellent. Thank you, Ms. Ghaida. A task is any activity that learners engage in to process learning of a language. Very good. And what about the other definition? Let's have a look at it. So this definition is according to Breen in the year 1987, and it says a task is a range of learning activities, again activities, from the simple and brief exercises to more, what exactly, space and space activities. We need to contradictory.
Can I say?
Yeah,
Can I share?
sure, sure, yeah, go ahead.
A task is a range of learning activities from the simple and brief exercises to more varied and difficult activities, maybe.
Yes.
I'm not
Can you
sure.
just, yeah, can you provide me with the opposite to these words? So it goes from the simple and brief to what is the opposite? So what would it
Complete,
be?
complicated one.
Okay, and what else? The opposite of the word brief. So it's brief, it's simple. What
Detailed
is,
one.
okay, yeah, it's really close to what you said. So a task is a range of learning activities from the simple and brief exercises to more complex and lengthy activities such as group problem solving or simulations and decision making. So this is the definition of a task according to Breen in the year 1987. All right. But what is task-based learning in the first place? Now I have a wonderful tool. It's today we're going to use a lot of digital tools, which we call ICT tools, the information communication technology tools. I mean the internet tools, or the tools on the internet, the websites. So I have here the Quizlet having a lot of flashcards where we have the definition on the flashcard and the concept on the other side. We just press it and then we read the definition and go to another one. I'll show you. So let me just drop you the link in the chat box to know more about what is exactly task-based learning. So all we're going to do is we're going to press the link, go to this Quizlet website, and then I show you how to deal with it. It's wonderful, it's interesting, and it's having a lot of flashcards with the concepts related to task-based learning and their definition on the other side of the flashcard, digital flashcards. And then we will have a test after it. After we study the flashcards, I'll have a test for you, a match activity, the concept, and then the definition. I'm sure you will find it interesting and fruitful, inshallah, as well, hopefully. So let's drop it in the chat box. Just a second. You know that ICT tools are really wow, and they are effective. The students love it. Grown-ups love it as well. Let me just drop it. Just a second, the chat box is loading. Yeah, here it is. I'll paste it here. Okay, send. Was great. Yeah, have you got it? I show you online, no
Yeah,
worries, but yeah, you got it? You saw the,
yeah, we can see the link.
okay, hallelujah. All right. So let me show how it works. Let me show you how it works because it's really wow. It's like this. So when you press it, if you can see my screen, you will find it like this. So here is the flashcard, for example. We have how many flashcards? We have 12 flashcards. One, this is first one from 12. 12 flashcards. I'm pointing at them. I'm referring to them here on the screen. So whenever, this is the concept, task-based language learning, referred to as TBLT, all right? So I press it to find the definition of what is text-based learning approach. It's a teaching method that focuses on context and meaning. This approach is also called task-based instruction, TBI, or task-based learning, TBL. After I finish, so when I press it, I have the concept, then the definition. The concept, the definition. I keep pressing, just press. And then I go to this right arrow. Can you see the arrow? I press it. It gets me to, or walks me through the next step, the next flashcard. So I have one more concept, task-based language learning class. What is the task-based language learning class? I'll press it. It gives me the definition or information about this concept. Teachers give students the tasks to complete so that they can practice the language in a personalized and meaningful way. So this is the test-based learning class. And we move on to learn the other concepts. I'll give you time for this and I'll study them too with you here. Then we will have the test together. Are you ready?
Yep.
Okay. Are you gonna press the concept on the side of the flashcard?
Yeah. To see
Yeah,
its meaning.
yeah.
We will,
Will you find the definition on the other side of the flashcard?
yeah.
Dictating
Yes.
you. Okay. After you finish studying the concept and the definition many times or as you like, okay, like this, I just press. Do we go to the right arrow here and press it like this? Yes,
Yeah.
okay, okay. When you finish, just write in the chat box or unmute and say finished for me to do the activity, the match activity on the same website. So please don't leave the website, just keep it in your Explorer or something that you have, the device. You have the 3 minutes for this. Study now. Please mute yourselves. Please mute yourselves. You have a lot of background noise. Okay, I've studied all of them. Are you following me? Are you having the same pace as me? I'm finished. This is for me. Are you ready for the test? If you can hear me well?
Miss Marwa, I have a problem with this link. When I log into it, it asks me to log in at first. So it wastes my time doing that.
Okay, so did you read the screen? Did you study with me on my screen? I was sharing the screen all the time and I was doing it as a student as well. Did you do that? Have you read
Yeah.
that on my screen?
Can you repeat it for 2 minutes more? Because I was
Yeah.
trying to log in and it wasted my time.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah. Okay. No worries. So it's just that they are 12, but no worries. The task-based language teaching, referred to as TBLT, it's a teaching method. Just a second. It's a teaching method that focuses on context and meaning. This approach is also called the text-based instruction, referred to as TBI, or task-based learning, TBL. So this is the definition of task-based learning. Okay. It goes on to describe the class. What is a TBL class in the first place? Description of it. In this class, the teachers give students tasks to complete so that they can practice the language in a personalized and meaningful way. When you give them the task, they give them like a reason or a purpose to learn. So it's a purposeful full task that has a meaning and it has a situation where they are involved and they want to share so that they learn. This is the idea. Okay?
Task is to compete or complete. I think to
It's
complete.
it's it's a
Is
complete, but there is yeah, it's a missing letter, but it's complete. They complete the task, all right? Okay, so task-based language learning also uses practical tasks to help students find their own useful vocabulary and language structures because when they are doing the tasks, while they are doing the tasks, they will learn vocabulary and structures. Okay, and the task-based learning or the TBL lesson as they refer to, allows the students to take a more central role. So they get them involved, engaged. So it's a language, it's a learner-centered approach, by the way, okay? In determining the language structures they learn. Through the tasks, they determine the language structure they learn, okay? We don't ask them to, for example, today we're going to study the present simple tense. So I tell them what to study. No, they have a task to do where they explore the linguistic areas, but they don't feel that they are intentionally doing that. It's just a task to do and they learn through the task. Okay. They determine what areas they have studied in the first place. And task based learning has very little focus on accuracy because it concentrates on the speaking and writing activities, the production, and because of this, students may find themselves practicing incorrect language a lot of the time. So this is one disadvantage of the task-based learning. What are the activities or the techniques? When I say the word technique, it means the activity, okay? Because it's different from the strategy. The technique is the activity. What are the activities or the tasks, types of tasks that I can do with my students if I am to apply the task-based learning approach? Let me show you a lot of times here, a lot of types and others by the way other than this, but these are the most famous ones. The information gap task, we will find the definition after a while. The opinion gap task, the reasoning gap task, the unfocused tasks, and the focus task, and also the input providing tasks. Okay, let's have a look at what information gap task in the first place is. So this kind of gap, the information gap task is or involves the exchange of information among the participants in order to complete a task. In this approach or this lesson, the test-based lesson, the students have to exchange information within their groups in order to complete the schedule. So they had like a schedule, and this is the task, and they had to work in groups to fill in the table or the schedule, the timetable or the schedule. So this is an example of information gap activity or technique for the task-based learning approach. What are tests that are called opinion gap? They refer to or they require that students express their personal preferences. I'll show you one like this after a while, inshallah, in the presentation, no worries. They express their feelings, their attitudes in order to complete the task. So the task asks the students about themselves, their preferences. Okay, so this is opinion gap activity or technique or task, something to be done if you are concentrating or applying the task-based learning class. Reasoning gap task. What is it? It has to do with the reasoning. It has to do with the logic, the mind. So what is it? So it requires that students derive يشتقوا some new information or conclude some new information by inferring means concluding it from information they have already been given. So if they have the information in a text or something, but they have to build on the information they have to undertake some kind of critical thinking to derive, to infer new information, to come up with new ideas based on what they have. So this is called the reasoning gap task, the reasoning gap activity. Okay, they don't ask them about the information directly, they ask them to infer something else. This is a kind of task in the TBL approach. What are the unfocused tasks? Unfocused tasks. Let's see. They are designed to provide learners with opportunities for communicating generally. They are unfocused. So the task is where students have to plan, for example, an itinerary. Itinerary, this word is a little bit difficult in pronunciation for me. For a train trip, it's like مسار الرحلة أو مخطط الرحلة for a train trip. This is an example that students draw on their own language resources to fulfill the task. I don't give them the vocabulary or structure for them to prepare or plan for this train trip, okay, or where the train trip is gonna go specifically. We don't determine that. We leave them, it's unfocused, so that they use their own vocabulary and structure, maybe as a revision for something else that they have studied before. I don't have a focus in this very lesson, so this is a task. Okay, so yeah, this is like we call it unfocused tasks. There is an opposite kind of task for it, like focused tasks. Focused tasks. What is it? It's the opposite of the other one. So these tasks are designed to provide opportunities for communicating using some specific linguistic item. So I focus on specific linguistic item, typically a grammar structure. So this is why this activity or this task or this technique is called focused task because it focuses on a specific linguistic area. The other tests that don't specifically concentrate or focus on a specific area of language are called the unfocused tests. All right, the last one we have is the input providing tasks. The input providing tasks. Input means the reading or listening, right? So it engages the learners, or these tasks engage learners with the receptive skills of listening and reading. So this was like a lesson that they had prepared before, and they completed a schedule with the content that the teacher already provided or has already provided. So this is called the input providing task. You provide the text, a reading passage or a listening audio, and then we ask the students to complete a task, to complete a schedule based on the content that the teacher has already provided the students with. Now, ready for the test, it's a match activity. We will recap or revise our knowledge of this part. So, yeah, so this is the definition, and let's choose, yeah, just a second. Sorry, something happened. Let me just refresh it. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. Yeah, we have it. Now, can you see it? Can you see my screen?
Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So, yeah, I think something wrong with the website itself. Sorry for that. Let me refresh it. Yeah. The first question, blah, blah, blah is a teaching method that focuses on context and meaning. This approach is also called, I'll refresh it again. No worries. Yeah. What's wrong with it? Guys, let me just refresh it again. Sorry for the inconvenience. Maybe something wrong with my connection or something. There's not Mentimeter. We have the test based here. Okay, let me just press the link again from the chat box. Yeah, yeah. Let me just refresh it. No worries. I'll get it from here and paste it again. Yeah, go. Yeah, we have it. The test-based language teaching. Just a second. Yeah, here's the test. I hope it works this time, inshallah. Okay, so again, back to the first question. Blah, blah, blah. The concept that you will choose from these requires that the students derive some new information by inferring it from information they have already been given. Do you remember this kind of task, guys?
Reasoning gap task.
Excellent, excellent. Yeah, that's it. Reasoning. Yeah, very good. So let's move to the next one. So it's what is it? Yeah. Yeah. And here is another question. Very little focus on accuracy. Because of this, students find themselves practicing erroneous language a lot of the time. So this is the communicative approach, the task-based learning, the presentation, practice, and production, or the natural approach. Unmute and speak
Task
immediately. Yeah.
task based learning.
Task-based learning.
Excellent. Yeah. Okay. I'll first it again to go to another question. Okay, so it involves the exchange of information among participants in order to complete a task. So they have to exchange information within their groups in order to complete the schedule. The schedule.
Information
Yeah,
information.
excellent. Yes, information gap task. Excellent. Very good. Okay, let me refresh it again to go to the next question. Allows the students to take a moral central role in determining the language structures they learn. The language structures they learn. They determine the language structures, the language areas. Huh? Is it task-based language learning class or task-based language learning in general? Task-based language teaching. They are almost the same. Is it the lesson? Oh, okay. Mhm.
I think it is a task-based language learning.
Okay. I guess that whatever concept you will say, they are similar. Was it's the class or the lesson? They are all task-based learning in the first place. But I remember it was, I guess, the lesson itself. The lesson allows the students to do blah blah. Okay, so this question says designed to provide learners. Sorry for that. Just a second, guys. Yeah. Teachers give students tasks to complete so that they can practice the language in a personalized and meaningful way.
This can be task-based language, right?
Okay, okay,
Language
yeah,
teaching.
yeah, okay, all right. Now, very little focus on accuracy because we said that. So we're back to the first one. Yeah, that's enough, guys. We're doing a great job, actually. So, as you can see here in my presentation, the TPL is a teaching approach that focuses on the student by asking them to do and meaningful activities or tasks. Okay, and these tasks can be daily routines like buying a cup of coffee, going to the doctor, or talking to someone on the phone. This is according to Light Brown and Spada in the year 1999. All right. Okay.
Miss Marwa, can I ask you a question, please?
Yeah. Sure.
Uh,
Sure. Yeah.
At first, we need to define what are these all these teaching approaches. We have, I think, PPP and TTT, and but I'm really they are all confusing. And here is now we have TPL. We need from you to give us like a fast knowledge or a fast information about all these approaches. What are the names of them? And
Yeah.
what are what is the most important one of them, you know,
Mhm.
of these approaches to apply in our classes. Also, I need to ask you about the deductive and the inductive. What are their relation to these approaches?
Wow.
Because I'm new, you
Okay,
know,
yeah,
in
yeah, yeah.
this.
Wow, wow, wow. Yeah. Yeah, it's you summarized the methodology. Okay, so this is TEFL and SALTA at the same time. So let's say the first one you said, the PPP. So, or you said the PPL. If you said the PPP, we have the presentation, practice, then production. This is a way presenting the lesson in the first place. This is a way of presenting the lesson. PPP. So I present the lesson. I explain the lesson. I present it. Then I practice. I get the students to practice it, giving them exercises or tests or activities or whatever. And then we have the production. Production. I ask them to produce the language, speaking activities or writing activities. So this is a way of presenting the lesson according to whatever approach you adopt. So this is we have two ways: TTT, test, teach, test, or PPP. So PPP is presentation, practice, production. This is a way. There is another way of presenting any lesson. So you test the knowledge of the students. You ask them questions on the same area you're going to present first. So you test them first to know what they need first. Then you start teaching what they need or lack or need to know concerning that area that you have tested them. You have already tested them. That was the first stage. Then you started teaching them. Then you test them again as a practice to see what they have already learned, or maybe you need to vary your strategies. So these are two ways of teaching the lessons. Even if you adopt other approaches, whether it's the deductive, the inductive, whatever, the project-based learning, the communicative, a lot of approaches. We have many, many approaches, even the SIBE approach, a lot of approaches. But these two ways, the PPP and TTT, are different ways of presenting the material in the first place. So either you present, then you get them to practice, then you get them to produce. This is the PPP, or you test, then you teach, then you test again. These are main concepts. There are two other main concepts that I have to mention here, things that I can mention here, like the PPP and TTT. We have the deductive approach and the inductive approach to teaching in general, and specifically in grammar, for grammar specifically. How
So
to
we
be
can,
deductive. Yeah, I'll tell
yes,
you
we
something.
inductive
Okay.
in all these methods. We can use them in PPP and TTT. You mean that?
Yeah. I mean that the PPP and TTT are general concepts, two different ways of presenting the material, whatever approach you adopt. And also the deductive and inductive are different ways, but you will understand when I say that, okay? So the deductive approach to teaching means that you teach traditionally. You just explain, for example, the grammar. You come into the class, guys. Today we're going to study the present simple tense, and the meaning of the tense is so and so, or the sentences in this sense means so and so, and the form is blah blah blah. And here are some examples, and then you come to the practice. This is the deductive approach to teaching grammar, for example. Okay, but when we say inductive approach, this means I do the opposite, the complete way around, which is I give them the examples. This is the inductive. Inductive is something different, which is preferable nowadays. اللي هو الاستنتاجي, which is I give them the examples or a context, a conversation, a meaningful context that they read and understand or listen to and understand. And then we analyze the language and get them to reach the meaning, the form, the pronunciation. We get them to induct the rule, to conclude, to reach the conclusion. What is the rule and what is the meaning of the rules through the meaningful context that we start with. So we start with the examples or the passage or the audio or the role play, the conversation that is meaningful, that they understand. And then we ask them questions on the meaning. on the pronunciation, on the form, we highlight the rule, and we have more practice later on. So this is the inductive approach to teaching grammar, for example. So big concepts, deductive traditional way, inductive new and preferable way to get them to infer the rule and the meaning and the pronunciation. Okay. For the approaches, the communicative approach is done in a certain way, the TBL in a certain way, the project-based learning in a certain way. You have to study them separately. So we don't have much time to discuss all these approaches, but I promise that inshallah I'm gonna like this like today, I'm gonna assign time, inshallah, allocate time for every time we study an approach. I like the inductive approach to teaching grammar because it's wonderful and it's learner centered and it you will like it. It's wow, you have to know it and you have to apply it in your teaching, of course. Okay, generally, you have to apply the inductive approach, which is getting them to infer the piece of information you want them to understand, or the piece of grammar, the item, the point of grammar that you want them to acquire. Okay, so I hope that I partly on or partially answered your question till we inshallah assign time for this. Okay, deal?
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so back to the presentation, the TBL. Let's ask you a question to think about, and then we will answer it later. Why do we use a task-based approach? Why is it important? Why should I give the students tasks to do and to learn through the tasks that I give them, or the activities, or the games, or whatever? If you want to answer, just unmute and speak immediately. Let me check raised hands. I hope that you think about it.
Yeah, Miss
Hello, Miss
Marwa, can I
Marwa, can you
talk?
hear me?
Hi, yeah, I can hear you. Who is it?
I'm Gheda.
Yeah, Miss Ghaida. Okay, go ahead, Ghaida. My dear sister. Yeah.
Yes, so yeah, I think the task-based learning is one of the important approaches because we as teachers we like to engage and involve our students in the learning process. So I think when we give them a task, when we give them an activity to do, and they are responsible for their learning, so we feel that they have the ability and they have the opportunity to engage in their learning.
Yes.
If we give them the input at the beginning of the lesson, maybe a listening or a reading task, so we are waiting for the output. So they get the
Yes.
information by themselves. They are engaged. They search
Yeah.
for the information. They are active. They are active learners, and this is what we are after
y-
nowadays.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, I totally agree with you. Okay, perfect. And I can see that my colleague, Mr. Ahmed Abdsalam, is raising hands. Go ahead. It's a great pleasure having you.
Good evening, Dr. Marwa.
Good evening.
Can you hear me? Okay, I have done the Quizlet you have assigned for us, and I have learned through practice what is a task-based approach. This is a good way for explaining the concept through doing the task. Yeah, you have doing something doubled in each other. We are learning when we are doing. There, I have learned what you are teaching in methodology by doing some tasks. I have completed it all, and I have learned everything by discovering the definitions and doing many different exercises that I reached what you mean by all this. I want to say that task-based approach is a way to, for students to learn, I think, by themselves. And they can discover many information clearly and at their speed through doing such tasks, such as I have done with the task you have assigned to me. I have learned all about these concepts from doing the task. So
Yes.
بالعربي كده يا دكتور مروه، انت علمتينا من خلال الممارسه، وعلمتينا اعطيتي مثال بتشرح الميثودولوجي من خلال التمارين اللي احنا عملناها. ف...
Yes.
ف... علمتنا المفهوم من خلال التجريب فعلا. شكرا لحضرتك.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Oh my God. I'm speechless. Thank you. Thank Allah you got the best out of it. Alhamdulillah. Okay, so as you said, Mr. Ahmed and Ms. Ghaida, you nailed it on the head. Yeah, that's it. So when we give the students tasks, it facilitates their acquisition of the second language, and this is one thing. And also, if you assign them like tasks that are similar to real life experience, yeah, it's easy for them to do because it's their life. So instead of asking them to write a paragraph about the moon and traveling to space, for example, I asked them to for example, I'll show you here a wonderful activity. I want to suggest you something here. How they find it? To create, yeah. Examples are, for example, how to make a cake, how um, to cut, to make like a game, like how to make a plane, a toy plane, and they surf the internet to to make questions or a conversation, or to prepare language to express how to provide prepare a party, a surprise party, for example, a birthday party for my colleague, for my mother, and prepare the present in English. Small tasks, simple tasks that take time to prepare, but they need language, vocabulary, expressions, and structures, and they can do, but they have to collaborate together. And it's similar to real life. It's meaningful, and it brings the world into the classroom. So if we can see here, it's related to the students' real life language needs, and they create contexts, situations, I mean something meaningful, context, situation, an experience, okay, that facilitates second language acquisition. And they create opportunities for focusing on the form, because the students need language to express themselves, to express the task, or to do the task, okay, whether in a written form or orally. So students are more likely to develop intrinsic motivation. Why? How will they have this inner motivation because of the task? Because they will feel that they have a purpose to do. They have something to do to achieve an outcome, okay, in a task-based approach. A task-based approach enables teachers to see if the students are developing the ability to communicate in the second language. So we need the language for communication, to convey the message, to express how to prepare for a party, or to plan for a trip, for example, like these examples that we all the time do in our real life. So this is why the task-based learning approach is important. Now, let's ask ourselves a very important question. What are the procedures? What are the steps? What is the framework of task-based learning when I am to do into my classroom? So I have three main stages. We have the pre-task, and we have the task cycle, which is the during task, what to do in the during task, or the task cycle itself. I mean, when we are into the task, or the students doing the task, what are the steps or the procedures in this very stage? And what are the steps of the post task? So we have three steps: the pre, the during, and the post. They call the during the cycle, the task cycle. So now I invite you all to watch this video and take notes on the sub steps or the procedures of every stage of these three stages: the pre, the during, the post. I mean, what do the students and the teachers do in every stage? And then I'll get you, no worries, to read about the details and to go to the Quizlet again and have to read to know more about the details. No worries. I just want you to infer, also be acquainted with the details of the stages and the procedures of these stages from the video. Please, if you have one sheet of paper and a pen in hand, just jot down ideas. So you will watch the video and take notes. Okay, are we gonna watch a video about the procedures of the framework of the TBL?
Yeah,
Very good. Are we gonna jot down ideas about the sub steps of every stage of the three ones?
yeah.
Yes.
Very good. Now let's check if the video is working. Inshallah, hopefully it's gonna work. Open. All right. Let's check if it's working. So you will say, yeah, we can hear the sound and it's visible.
Hello, TEFL students.
Okay, now is it visible and audible?
Yes, it
It's
is.
visible.
Thank Allah. Okay, let's watch it.
In this video, I'm going to demo for you a task-based learning activity. The topic is planning a party. This topic can be used with a wide range in ages and levels with adjustments. The structure of the video follows 4 stages: the pre-task, task preparation, during task, and post-task. Let's get started. Step 1 is the pre-task. The pre-task stage should mentally and linguistically prepare your students for the upcoming task ahead. There are many ways to do this. In this demo, I show you 3 ideas.
Okay? What makes a good party? Jorge? Okay, okay. Uh-huh. Food.
Idea number 1 would be the use of brainstorming with a word web.
Okay. In your groups, I want you to keep going, okay? Keep going. What do you think? What are some things that make a good party?
Brainstorm idea number 2 would be the use of pictures and/or discussion questions.
Okay, let's take a look at picture number 1. What are they doing? Good. All right? They are ordering. All right? They're ordering food for the party. Good. Another one.
And perhaps the most common activity would be idea number 3, having your students read or listen to a model text that mimics the language they will use in the task ahead.
Look at the picture of the people. What do you think we're going to listen to? Yes. All right? We're going to listen to them plan a surprise party. Good, good.
In stage 2, you will prepare your students to be able to complete the upcoming task on their own. In order to do this, you need to give very clear directions. I commonly give each group one piece of paper with a step-by-step handout or a checklist for them to follow.
First, I want everyone to get into groups of 3. All right, first get into your groups. You're going to follow the handout. And then after, give us maybe 15 minutes. Okay, you're going to present your party idea to the class. Are you guys excited? All right, it's going to be fun. Let's get started.
In this important stage, students begin to independently build their task. Group collaboration and creativity take hold, and generally it's the fun and exciting part of the task. I quietly circulate around the room and make note of any weak or strong language features on a clipboard. Make sure that you encourage use of the target language. After this, the students will then act or present out their tasks. It's the point where I hope they proudly display their creativity and stretch their language abilities in doing so. As a teacher, I continue to remain low-key and continue to quietly take notes on the language being used. It's a fluency activity, so I don't commonly interrupt unless asked for help. If set up well, the stage is fun and engaging for everyone. When I'm done, my clipboard is often covered. To keep me organized, I take notes into categories. Only the most important language features get addressed. Always point out both strong and weak language features. To complete the activity, I address those key language features on the board with the class, and we reflect on the language we've learned through completing the task. This concludes my demo video. Please note there are many ways to execute task-based learning. I encourage you to explore other interpretations and find what works for you and your students. Thanks for watching.
Okay, no worries if you missed some parts or you need elaboration on some parts of it. We will have 2 other ways to clarify the stages. No worries. Okay, just give me a hint about what you have got out of this video. So, some things that the speaker said. It's clear that she didn't have the students in class. It wasn't real. She was just demonstrating something, but the students were not there. She was just pretending that the students were there, but they were not. Okay. So what happened in the pre-stage? She had or did 3 brainstorming ideas. 3 brainstorming ideas. What are they? Let me check. So yeah, okay. So Miss
I
Sam, you're
think one
raising
of
your
them was
hand.
that
Okay.
Yes, peace be upon you.
Peace be upon
Okay,
you.
she has three three approaches to make brainstorming. The first one was word web, pictures or using discussions through questions. And the last one was reading a text or listening to it.
Excellent, 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 excellent. That's it. You nailed it on the head. So when she came to brainstorm the students to warm them up or lead, or kind of lead and for before the task, she used the three different examples for us. Okay, and she even said, yeah, in the third brainstorming, you could get them to listen to an audio or read a passage about the same thing they are gonna do, which is how to prepare a party. So that they listen to the language that they will use. So this is like an input. Okay. Excellent. Yeah, okay, go ahead. Go on.
Okay. For the next stage, she is going to prepare her students to what they are going to do on the task. For the instructions she is going to give them, and the interaction they are going to deal with the task.
Yes.
And then they are going to do the task, of course, independently. They are, at the last stage, she is going to take notes while they are working on their task. Uh, I couldn't get the last stage, but I think, from my point of view, in the stage of post task, I should, as a teacher, be a commentator or a praiser. I should give praise them for their hard work, or I should note their weakness points or the strengths points they had done in their task in order to
Feedback.
encourage them to do more.
Excellent. Yes, I know that the post stage was brief a little bit, but she said exactly. She accurately said that she would take notes while they are presenting the tasks. Every group is going to present, and she will take notes. She will not stop them or correct their mistakes because this is fluency activity. So the concentration is on the fluency, the production of the language. Then she took notes. Then later on, she will comment on the language being used or what went right and what went wrong. So this is like analysis, language analysis. So the content and the language feedback, two kinds of feedback here, the content feedback, then the language feedback. She didn't mention that, but we can infer, or maybe we have an idea about it. Excellent. Thank you so much, Missy
Yes.
Ham. You did a great job. Thank you. Wonderful. And it sounds like your listening skill is really high, is really perfect, mashallah, because you got
Um,
areas really quickly, alhamdulillah. May Allah bless you.
I
And yeah,
really have,
yeah, you work on it.
thank you.
You regularly work on your listening skill, right?
Thank you. Yes,
Yes, I'm sure of
yes.
it. Okay, so guys, let's dive deeper. So you will have these details that you didn't get from the video. You will get on the flashcards on another link on the Quizlet. Okay. So I guess you're familiar with how Quizlet works now. If you don't reach it on your own device, you can watch my screen because I'm gonna visit the link. But before I visit the link, I will copy and paste it in the chat box for you to go there and study alone. I'll give you time, no worries. So it's just that again, we're gonna visit the link to find the stages, the procedures of every step explained in the flashcards in the Quizlet tool. It's a wonderful digital tool for digital flashcards. So look at your chat box and tell me if you have got the link. Did you get it? Now, have you got it?
Yes.
Excellent. I will go to it myself as well. And I'm sharing my screen so that you can watch my screen as well. If you don't have, if the link is not working on your device, it's okay. I have it. So I have the card here. I click the card to flip. It asks me to click to click the card, to flip. So the pre-task, which is stage number one, I'll press it. We'll find that the pre-task is introduction to topic and task. Okay? That the teacher explores the topic with the class, helps students to understand instructions and prepare. So it was the brainstorming, the three kinds of brainstorming that the teacher in the demo did with the class. So this is the pre-task. Okay, presenting the topic. Then we have the task cycle. The task cycle, which she divided in the demo into two parts. The task itself and the preparation of it. I mean the preparation of it. The task, what is the task, what they are gonna do, and their planning of the task or doing the task itself. Okay, so if we press the word task, we'll find that the students do the task in pairs or small groups while the teacher monitors. So we divide the students into pairs or small groups and we give them the instructions. And the teacher in the demo used handout or the checklist for them to follow the handout or to follow the something like an organizer or something or a checklist for them to follow to do the task perfectly, to guide them through the task. Then we have again in the during task, it's titled the task cycle. We have the planning stage where when the students do the tasks, they plan the activity or plan the task already. So this is the students prepare to report to the whole class orally or a written form how they did the task or what they decided or discovered. So it's the planning stage, doing the activity, doing the task, and preparing for presenting to class because they will present to the class what they have done in the task. Okay? The teacher just monitors and takes notes. And then the report. Again, the task cycle, the report. What is the report? Some groups present their reports to the class or exchange written reports and compare results. If they are, for example, asked to fill in the schedule, fill in a certain schedule, and it's an information gap task, for example, and I give them the schedule to fill in this schedule. Every group is going to fill in the schedule. This is their task. Then they have finished everything. I can ask them to exchange the schedules, their work together, the groups, like peer feedback to get peer feedback before the presentation before class or the discussion, the choral discussion after the activity. Okay, exchanging the texts together or their production together before they present to class. This is one step to do. What is the language focus, which is the analysis? It's the post stage. The post stage is analysis. How? Students examine and discuss specific features together with the teacher because they will present to class and the teacher will jot down some notes on what went right or what went wrong and the teacher will give feedback and they together will like practice sorry analyze the language so the teacher may stress certain points, correct some mistakes, and then ask the students later on for practice, language practice, to practice the language that they have produced in the activity. So practice is teacher conducts practice of new words, phrases, and patterns that occur in the data. So while the students have presented to class and they did the task and they, for example, filled in the schedule or prepared or planned for the train trip or prepared for the party, it's a surprise party or a birthday party that they have planned for and presented for class, there has been like areas being tackled or used. So we will give more focus on this, getting the students to practice them. For example, I hear this sentence. Can anybody use this word in another sentence of his or her, of his or hers? Okay. Can anybody use this structure or this expression or this pattern or this functional sentence in a certain different situation of yours? For example, this is more practice. Okay. I guess we're finished here. So these are the stages, but presented differently other than the ones presented in the video. I have one third way of presentation of these stages of the framework for you to master it. So back to my presentation. Yeah, this one. So here's the table. You can have a screenshot of this if you would like, and I'm going to share the presentation, inshallah. Here, the pre-task is the introduction to topic and task, as we have mentioned before. I'm not going to repeat that. And then we have the task cycle divided into three parts. The task, students do it in pairs or groups, and the teacher monitors. Then the planning, they prepare to report the whole class. The production, then the report they present to class, and they receive feedback on their level of success and completing the task. The language focus, we have the analysis and the practice. Students examine and discuss specific features of the text or transcript of the recording. They will not do this alone. It's guided. The teacher will guide them through this, will lead them into this discussion, the analysis of the language, okay, that they have studied. Okay, and then the practice, the teacher conducts practice of or new words, phrases and patterns occurring in the data or something that they got from the input at the very beginning of the task, either during or after the analysis. So this is according to Willis in 1996. This is the reference that we used. Example of TBL activity, here is one. I can ask the students to fill in this chart about their classmates' preferences. Okay, so they work in groups and they have this chart or this table. They have to fill about their group. Every group is going to fill in this schedule or this chart, for example, the name, the favorite male singer, the favorite female singer, the favorite TV actor or actress, the favorite TV series, the favorite place to go, the, or their dream place, for example, or the favorite place to go. So this is an example of a TBL activity or task that I ask the students to do in groups or in pairs. I guess it's better to do it in groups because we need a number of students to be involved. Okay? And I clarify the task. Maybe I get them to listen to somebody presenting the or speaking about the preferences like this in an audio or read the passage. This is part one. And then we have the cycle divided into three parts, and then the part of the analysis and practice, which is the post. So please study this approach at large because we have never discussed this before. So just know that TBL is test-based learning, okay? So what are the advantages of test-based learning? I'm going to show you this. You can talk to me about this now. What are the advantages of task-based learning? You can write in the chat box or mute yourself, or sorry, unmute yourselves and express yourselves at large. Please raise your hands if you would like to share. What are the advantages of this kind of activity? For me, I like the input and the output. So I like having the audio, the material and reading text, or in an audio that I listen to, and then I imitate. I use the material or the linguistic areas being tackled or used in the audio or in the reading passage to do the activity. And then I come up with something new and present it to class and get feedback. This is wonderful. It's like a rich experience for the students. How do you see that yourselves? Can you share your opinions before I show you the answers? Anything that gets to your mind, you can say it.
May
You're
I?
raising. Sure. Yeah, go ahead. My pleasure, of course.
Okay, I think when they engage in doing a task and then they have the product at the end, they will discover a new language. The language will be stuck in their minds, and they will communicate in the language. And this is our great purpose to communicate actively using English. This is the final aim. So
Perfect.
the task makes them remember and memorize the language well and use it well. So I love this
Perfect.
approach.
Perfect, perfect. Yeah, and I like your idea about the long retention of pieces of information or linguistic areas. The chunk long retention means it gets them to memorize the pieces of information or the areas of language that they have studied for longer periods of time. So this is called long retention. It gets them to remember them and keep them in mind for longer durations or longer periods of time through doing the task, because mainly it's like hands-on activity that I get them to do, which is really it really sticks to their mind. So let's read them here. The advantages of TBL. So as you can see, all the tasks are likely to be familiar to the students, like visiting the doctor. What would I say in a conversation there at the clinic? When I'm visiting the doctor, for example, students are more likely to be engaged. Why? Because it's similar to the real life. We bring the world into the classroom, as we have said in at the beginning of the session. Okay, so which may further motivate them in their learning, because when it's personalized, when it's similar to me, closer to my life, I will do it. I speak about it. I will love to learn about it. Okay, because this is my life. It's more student centered. Yes, because they do it. Students do it and they present it and they learn it and they practice it even later on. It allows more meaningful communication. The same idea, it's having a situation to do, a party to prepare for, a trip to plan for, like this, or to prepare. It's prepare, not prepare for. Okay, what are again the advantages of TBL? Again, meaningful communication. They are exposed to a whole range of lexical phrases, collocations, and patterns, as well as language forms, because this is the language that they will need to present the activity or present the task. Okay, so they learn a lot of areas. It encourages students to be more ambitious in the language they use. They are not simply learning or expressing themselves. They need more higher language and long sentences and some higher or higher level language to express themselves, because the task itself is not sometimes it starts short, but it goes higher to be more complex, as they say, or lengthy. Okay, yeah, the psychological dynamics of the group, the collaboration, the cooperation in the group, which works together to complete a task, will have a great influence on the success, because even the high achievers help the weak achievers within the group. The ones who are enthusiastic will help ones who are not willing to share in the first place. They get them higher to their level. Even the ones who are they feel shy, their students within the group will help them to share, and they will not feel embarrassed. So they will be motivated. This is the idea. For the disadvantages, can you think about the disadvantages of this approach? I'll show you the answer, but just try to provide me with some suggestions from your own, I mean, your opinion about it. Think of some disadvantages, some shortcomings, some drawbacks of the TBL approach, because nothing is perfect, as you know, and everything is having shortcomings. What are some of these for the TBL approach? Sometimes they refer to it by the acronym TBI, task-based instruction, or task-based learning, or task-based teaching, or language teaching, lots of things. Do you have anything in mind about the disadvantages? Something already said at the beginning of the session concerning the accuracy and the fluency, that sort of thing.
Yeah, it doesn't focus on the accuracy, so
Yes.
it lacks some.
Yes, sometimes they produce incorrect language, so they need to be corrected. But because it's a fluency activity, mainly fluency task, so the teacher delays or postpones the feedback till the end of the activity. So they make a lot of mistakes, but no worries, and we learn through our mistakes. No worries, but it's just that no severe focus on accuracy. The focus is more on fluency. And when you produce the language, you make mistakes. This is the idea. So let me show you some ideas also about the disadvantages of the TBL. The students will stay within the narrow confines. Confines are the borders, al-hudud, of familiar words and forms. So when you get them to do the task, they will simply use the language that they know. Okay? Others will go higher. So it's both merit and demerit at the same time. They will use the familiar words, things that they are familiar with and the structures that they know, and they will not use the other ones that are difficult because they don't have it in the first place, or they don't have them. Some students can hide and rely on others within the group to do the bulk of the work and learning. So maybe some students will not share. This happens. Okay, mostly this happens. The difficulty of implementing task-based teaching where classes are large and space limited and or inflexible. So we have problems with this. We have problems with large number of students, and we have limited space, narrow space within the classes. So we cannot do that perfectly or as we should do it in the first place. Okay, so this is so far we have already presented the task-based learning approach, the framework, why is it important, some information about it, some concepts related to it, some examples of techniques or activities that we do with our students to be on the track of the task-based learning approach. Now it's your turn to undertake a kind of reflection on what you have learned today. And here is the Padlet wall where I will copy the link and paste it in the chat box. That you press the link and go there, you'll find the page. You press the plus button. I'll show you. No worries. Let me just drop the link in the chat box first and then show you on my screen. Just a second. This is no worries. I'll not keep you longer. This is the end of the session. Just the reflection, and I'll let you go. No worries. Because I know you are having work, inshallah, earlier. Most of you are having like commitments. Where's the chat box? Let me drop it in the chat box. Just a second. It's loading. Yes. Paste it. Yeah, Mr. Ahmed says it takes much time and it's uncontrolled. Yes, yes. These are one of the disadvantages. Sometimes you cannot control it, and it's uncontrolled completely. You can't completely control it, and it takes much time. Yes, because this is the task, and we have curriculum to tackle, and we are limited in time. All these things. Have you got my link, the Padlet? Have you got my link, guys, in the chat box?
Yeah.
Okay, so press it please and go there. You will find like a wall. I show you just a second. Okay, I go to the link and press it myself. So I have the link. I'll show you what to do on the screen right now. Got it. It's loading just a second. I can show you this on my screen and then you can write it yourself on your devices. So here is the wall. If you can see my screen. Yes. Miss Mona Subki, you are here. It's a great honor having you today. Thank you so much for being here. Brilliant as usual. Thanks. Thank you. So we just press the plus button here. We press it here, and then we will have the subject if you would like to write the subject of what you will write, and then you write something here. The reflection. What are your takeaways from the session today? What went right? What went wrong? What are your suggestions? What resonated with you from today's session? One word, one sentence, many sentences as you can. So please reflect on what you have taken from today's session. Your takeaways from the session. You have 5 minutes to do this. I'm waiting for your responses to keep coming in before we leave so that I make sure that you got something out of it. Okay? So we have here, thanks a bunch. Fruitful session as usual. Okay, so just try to write something, some takeaways from the session today. Something that you go with, you take with you away from the session. Something that is stuck to your mind. from today's session? Let me check your contributions. And we have here, yeah, very fruitful. Okay, thank you. I hope so, inshallah. So I'm waiting for our colleagues to contribute, write something that resonated with you from today's session. This is like a wall. It's wonderful with reflection and homework when you are giving us a course online, or you ask the students or the trainees or your colleagues to write your reflection or the feedback from at the end of the session. You just press the plus button here and you write whatever you want and you just post it. Yes, thank you for your great effort. Thank you for your great effort. It's a
Mm,
fruitful session as usual. May Allah bless you and your family. Thank you so much. It couldn't have been done
Can
without
you
you. Yeah,
can you share the link again, Miss Mara, please, because I lost
sure,
the image. Okay.
sure. Yeah, I'll drop it in the chat box again. No worries. I'll paste it. Ms. Ghada, please check your chat box. Have you got it? I hope that you have got it now, right? Just check the chat box. I'm going there for checking your contributions. Where is it? I don't find it. Yeah, here it is. Okay, so you have written a lot of things here. TBL, I try to apply this approach, but with advanced learners. Okay, I like that idea. Yeah, they will help you and you will try it. You'll find that it's, yeah, experimenting it with the advanced learners will be a great contribution. Yeah. Thanks a lot, Dr. Marwa. Yeah, I'm just a colleague of yours. We came here to learn from one another. I will try to apply this approach, okay? The three stages of TBL are really purposeful and will help to plan our lessons. I feel that I can plan my lesson based on this approach, okay? But don't forget to study more and dive deeper into it. And you will find a lot of demos on the YouTube in the class, how to do it with the students. So please try to get more support from the videos on the YouTube. The way the trainer tackled the lecture is inspiring. Thank you so much. So if you have anything to add, it's okay. Thank you for being here with me. Yeah, you are writing, so I'm waiting. So you are still writing. Okay, very good. Um, project-based learning, okay. The PBL, okay. The post. I recommend to add benchmarks. Okay. Thank you so much. Our colleagues are still writing, which is really amazing. I'm waiting for you. The stages of conducting the tasks are clearly explained. Very good. Thank Allah. Hallelujah. That's great. Wonderful. So now, guys, that's the end of our session today. I hope, inshallah, hopefully, inshallah, that you have got the best out of it and you have mastered something and maybe you can dive deeper into it. So thank you all and let's have good night. May Allah support you in your, inshallah, work if you are teachers. Yeah, most of your trainers and teachers like me. Okay. Let's have a nice time, guys. Thank you for being with me today.
Thank you so much, Miss Marwa.
You're
It's
welcome. You're
our
welcome.
actually. I
Thank you.
can't use this tab. I can't find the plus item, so I can't share
Okay. Okay. Can you just
my
try
note.
it later? It's easy. You will find the plus button here, whether it's on the right or on the left, according to the Explorer you're using. It's at the end.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not on the top of the page. You'll find it
I'm
at
on
the
my phone.
right
I'm
bottom
using my
or,
phone.
yeah.
I'm using my phone. I don't know the problem where actually.
Maybe it's not loading. It's slow and loading because it takes time
Oh,
sometimes. If it's loading
okay.
perfectly, you'll find the plus button apparent before you, okay? So I hope
Okay.
that you experiment with it or try it once and you'll find it enjoyable. Miss
Yeah.
Mervit says, because I entered late. Yeah, I'm already recording the session. I will inshallah post the recording link on my Facebook page. So if you are following or your friends on my Facebook page, if you're contacts with me, it's okay. I'll post them. So have a nice time and good night, guys. Bye bye.
Bye
Let me
bye.
stop the
Good
record.
night.
Bye bye. Let me stop the recording. Yeah, it didn't. Did I record in the first place? I'm not sure if I record. Yeah, it's recording. Yeah, so stop the recording. Yeah, yeah.